Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing cease and desist letters here in Thailand. What are we talking about? Well, a lot of times when you have conflicts with other individuals, for example, trademark problems, copyright problems, you may have an issue with an outstanding debt, you may have an issue with ongoing business operations, one of the parties doesn't feel like a contract to that business is being fulfilled correctly. Cease and desist letters are, if you will, and I don't like making analogies between the law and like battle or something, but I will here because it's a pretty good analogy. The cease and desist letter is akin to the opening salvo of a battle, if you will. And again, I don't like putting these things in an adversarial context. The American system utilizes an adversarial system to come to the truth. It's basically comes from Magna Carta, it comes from the old common law. The thinking is sort of the truth will out in a trial. Where there's adversaries and basically they both fight over their version of the truth will sort of out. Thailand uses an inquisitorial system, not an adversarial one. And at the end of the day, the overall legal system seems to be driven by a sort of paradigmatic desire to decrease conflict. You know, that is its overall function. And it doesn't always do that, but that seems to be the raison d'etre, if you will, for the existence of the courts as they are here in Thailand. Point I'm trying to make in circling this back is, you know, cease and desist letters or something to that effect, a letter from an attorney that says, hey, you're doing this, stop doing it, you're violating so-and-so's rights, whatever, stop doing it by X date or there will be legal consequences, signed, blah, blah, blah. That's basically the gist of what cease and desist letters are. Now, they could be more complex depending on the fact pattern, but basically what they're saying is stop doing what you're doing or there could be further consequences is basically the point of a cease and desist letter. Most folks, when they get one, it's been my experience, tend to try to work something out. They, not always, but tend to. That being said, you know, this is sort of the first thing you do when sort of wading into a possible ongoing litigation or when wading into something that may work itself out in an amicable manner. You know, that may also be an avenue that cease and desist letter starts with and, you know, ends with. It concludes amicably. It doesn't always mean it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. Again, the underlying facts in a given case are going to drive the analysis regarding whether a cease and desist letter is even warranted in a given situation. That being said, those who feel like they're in a situation where they need conflict resolution may not be a terrible idea to contact a legal professional, gain some insight and guidance into how best to proceed.